Being a woman is hard, but I'm sure you don't need me to tell you that. How we feel throughout the month changes day to day. And this isn't something that's just in your head. Because unlike men who go through the same hormonal changes daily, women's hormones fluctuate throughout the month. And that's why our energy, hunger, mood, and focus change throughout the month. And look, I'm not saying this is fair, but it is the reality. Fortunately, there are ways we can work with our body. Changes we can make throughout the month so we feel better at every stage. This is known as cycle syncing. And once you understand this, everything else starts to make a lot more sense. So in today's video, I'm going to break down how your hormones change across your cycle, how that impacts your energy, your metabolism, your workouts, and your nutrition, and how to actually work with your body instead of against it. Because this is one of the biggest reasons that so many women feel inconsistent. It's not a lack of discipline, but rather a lack of understanding. Now, your cycle can be broken down into two main phases, the follicular phase and the luteal phase, with two key points inside that, menstruation and ovulation. And each of these phases has a very different hormonal environment, which means your body behaves differently in each one. Let's start with the follicular phase. This begins on day 1 of your period and continues until ovulation. During this phase, estrogen rises. And this is usually where you feel your best. Energy is higher, you're more motivated, you feel better. You might even feel stronger in the gym. And importantly, your body is more insulin sensitive, which means it's better at using carbohydrates for energy instead of storing them. This is why workouts often feel easier during this phase. You might notice you're stronger, you can lift more, you recover better. Your body is in a more anabolic state, meaning it's building. So this is the time to lean into that. Your body can handle heavier lifting, more intense workouts. You can push yourself a little bit more because your body is primed for it. And during this stage, it also recovers faster. A win-win. Now within the follicular phase, we have menstruation. This is roughly day 1 to 5 depending. And this is where your uterine lining is shedding. Hormones are at their lowest point here. For some women, at this point, they feel their most fatigued. And there's a reason for that. Quite literally, you're losing blood, which means you're losing iron. Iron is needed to carry oxygen around your body. So when your levels drop, you can feel tired, weak, and have trouble concentrating. On top of iron, you're also losing magnesium, zinc, and B vitamins, which all play a role in energy, hormone regulation, and recovery. Magnesium in particular is important here. It helps relax the muscles of the uterus and can reduce cramping. There's research showing that it can significantly reduce period pain. So if your periods leave you feeling wiped out, this could be why. It's a combination of low hormones, nutrient loss, and inflammation. So right at the start of your period, you want to support your body. If you're supporting it nutritionally, a lot of women might not even experience some of these side effects. But the point is, if you need more rest, if you need to skip a workout, do it. Your body's working hard. It's doing what it's meant to be doing. And that can be frustrating, but it is what it is. Now, as you move through the follicular phase, your body starts preparing for ovulation. Estrogen continues to rise. And nutritionally, this is where B vitamins and zinc become extremely important. B vitamins help with energy production and support how your body processes estrogen. Folate in particular is important for cell growth. Your body is actively developing the follicle that will release the egg. Zinc also plays a key role in hormone production and ovulation. Low levels have been linked to irregular cycles. So as you approach the middle of your cycle when ovulation happens, it's really important to support your body nutritionally. You're probably starting to see a bit of a theme here. Then we reach ovulation, usually around day 14. This is when estrogen peaks and the egg is released. And something a lot of people don't know is that ovulation is actually a mild inflammatory event. So during this time, antioxidants become even more important. Vitamin E, C, selenium, and zinc. These help reduce oxidative stress and support overall health. You might notice you're feeling more confident, social, or energetic during this time. This is your hormonal peak. After ovulation, we move into the luteal phase, and this is where things start to shift. Progesterone rises after ovulation. And this hormone changes your body in several ways. First, your metabolic rate increases. You're burning more calories, usually somewhere between 100 to 300 per day, which is why you feel hungrier. This isn't a lack of willpower, it's your body literally needing more energy. At the same time, your insulin sensitivity decreases. You're slightly more insulin resistant during this phase, which means your body is not using glucose as efficiently. This is why you might feel more sluggish, more prone to energy dips, and why those higher carb meals might hit you differently. This is also when your cravings increase. Serotonin levels drop during this phase, and your body craves carbs trying to boost it. Again, not a lack of discipline, but a hormonal response. And you'll also notice changes to your performance. You might feel weaker in the gym, not able to lift as much. Your recovery might feel slower. Your resting heart rate increases, your HRV decreases, and your body temperature increases. And this is something you can actually track. If you use something like an Oura ring, you'll see a clear increase in body temperature after ovulation. And this is one of the signs that ovulation has happened. This phase is also where a lot of PMS symptoms show up. And once again, there's a reason for that. Progesterone burns through magnesium, which is why magnesium becomes so important during this phase. It supports relaxation, sleep, and helps reduce anxiety and cravings. Vitamin B6 also plays a very important role here. It supports progesterone production and serotonin, and calcium is another big one. There's research showing that calcium can reduce PMS symptoms by up to 50%. So this isn't just eat whatever and hope for the best. Your body has different needs during this phase. And if you support those, you'll feel a noticeable difference. Now, you probably noticed that we focused a lot on different nutrients at different times during your cycle, because most people eat the same way every day, or they try to eat the same way every day. A lot of women, if they're hungrier one day than they usually are, they feel guilty. But the point I'm trying to make is that your body isn't the same every day. So we can't treat it like it is. What worked yesterday and made you feel good might not work today. Your hormonal environment week 1 is entirely different to what it is week 3. And this is what cycle syncing is really about. Adjusting your nutrition, your training, and your habits to match your body where it's at. Now, if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed about what foods you should be eating at different parts of your cycle, what nutrients you should be focusing on, I have a solution for you. Daily Basis created their cycle routine to support just that. It includes 2 phases: replenish, which you take in the first half of your cycle, and balance, which you take in the second. They're sachets that you add to your water and drink daily. Each one is formulated with the specific nutrients your body needs at that stage, the ones we've mentioned throughout this video. So instead of trying to figure it all out yourself, it simplifies the process. It's OBGYN formulated, third-party tested, and it can be really helpful if you have insulin resistance, PCOS, or endometriosis. If you want to try out Daily Basis, I'm going to put the link in the description box down below. And when you shop through that link, you can save 20%. Now, before we finish, I want to touch on something that comes up a lot when we talk about cycle syncing: PCOS, which is short for polycystic ovarian syndrome. This is the leading cause of female infertility, affecting at least 1 in 10 women of childbearing age worldwide. And that's not including a larger percentage of women who are undiagnosed. Because if you have PCOS, your cycle doesn't look like what we just described. And that's where a lot of confusion comes in. At its core, PCOS is driven by insulin resistance, which means your body is producing more insulin, and then your excess insulin stimulates the ovaries to produce more androgens, which are male hormones like testosterone. When these hormones are elevated, this can disrupt ovulation. And if you're not ovulating regularly, your cycle becomes irregular. You might have longer cycles, missed periods, or cycles that feel unpredictable. So instead of a clear follicular and luteal phase, it becomes inconsistent and basically impossible to track. And this is why cycle syncing can feel very frustrating for women with PCOS. This is why tracking ovulation can be extremely frustrating for women with PCOS. Because if you don't know where you are in your cycle, it's a lot harder to adjust your nutrition and your training. And this is where understanding the root cause becomes very important. Instead of trying to perfectly sync with a cycle that's irregular, the focus should shift to help supporting your body in ways that support rhythm. And that comes back to things like improving insulin sensitivity, prioritizing protein, managing stress, building muscle, getting consistent sleep. The same framework that we talk about for insulin resistance. Because when insulin levels come down, for a lot of women, those male hormones come down as well. Ovulation becomes regular. And your cycle becomes regular as well. So if you have PCOS, I know it can be frustrating. This isn't about forcing your body into the perfect cycle. It's about supporting your cycle so it can become more regular over time. So big picture, cycle syncing isn't about being perfect. It's about understanding why we feel the way we do, why some days feel easy, why we're in a good mood, and other days we don't. We feel like an emotional wreck. But if you adjust your training, if you support your body nutritionally in the ways that it needs, you start to feel better day to day. It becomes easier to be consistent. You don't beat yourself up for being hungrier one day and eating more than you did the day before. Like I said, during the second half of your cycle, your metabolism increases. You should be eating more. It makes sense why you're hungry. So instead of working against your body, work with it. And hopefully this video helped you to understand how you can support it. And if you want to make sure you're checking all of the boxes nutritionally, make sure to check out Daily Basis. Click the link in the description box down below and you're going to save 20%.